Hello, today I'm starting on a mobility-focused beat-em-up centered around a grappling hook, which allows the player to move themselves or enemies around the arena. The basic movement isn't all that interesting, so we're zooming past that. For the grappling hook, whenever the player right-clicks, it casts a shape cast towards the mouse. If it detects an enemy, it draws a line to it. If the player right-clicks again, it overrides the enemy's movement and pulls it towards the player. If the player left-clicks instead, it pulls the player towards the enemy. Currently, the slime enemy just moves directly towards the player, which isn't very interesting. Instead, I want the slime to chase the player until it is in range, then start circling the player and occasionally dart in for an attack. I'm going to do this using this state chart plugin, which will let me run different code for each state the slime can be in. We're going to create a state for each behavior the slime should perform, link up the process signals for each state to the slime's code, and add the transition events. Now the slime behaves much more interestingly. However, since it just moves at a 90-degree angle to the player when in circling range, the player moving towards or away from the slime will throw off the circling alignment. By adjusting the orbit angle by how close it is to the player, it can drift away from the player if it is too close, or drift towards the player if it is getting too far away. The last thing I want to do for this video is add an archer enemy. We're starting with a copy of the slime and adding a projectile shooter. It took far longer than it should have to get it shooting in the right direction, but I got it eventually. For the archer behavior, I unsuccessfully tried to use guards instead of events to transition between states. In theory, with the guards, I should be able to set a property, like if the archer can see the player or if the player is in range, and automatically transition to the chase, attack, or any other states appropriately. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to transition when it was supposed to, nor keep it from transitioning when it shouldn't have. I'm going to revisit using guards again later since it will make the code cleaner, but for now I'm just going to use events. And that brings us to here. It has a very long way to go. There aren't even any graphics yet, but the enemies are already a nice challenge, and the grappling hook makes fighting them far more interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.